you fall in love with this place. I mean, I could end up being here for 100 years, I suppose, but I just think it's time for somebody new to come in.
Many people were surprised this week when Anthony Conte, the longtime president of Shea's Performing Arts Center, announced he was stepping down. He's retiring, and the marvelous piece of Buffalo history he has presided over is all the better from his many years of being there. When you think of live theater and you think of Buffalo, there can only be one stage that first comes to mind: Shea's. It is the historic gem of the Queen City. It is once again now as it was when it first opened its doors in 1926. After 18 years of restoration that cost $24 million, all of that work became a mission for Anthony Conte. Now that it's all done, he's retiring.
Why?
Why? Because it's time. I'm turning 70. We've achieved most of the goals that I set out for us when I first started here with the board.
That was 15 years ago, and at that time, Shea's Buffalo, as it was known then, was in pretty bad shape, both physically and financially. It was $5 million in debt.
That was a huge problem for Shea's. We also were not making any money. We were losing money. So on top of the fact that we had all this debt, we were financially not sound, which is one of the reasons that I was asked to come here and see if I could fix it.
So, with the help of a generous community, Conte fixed it. Shea's debt has all been paid off now. The theater restored. It now has a surplus. It also has a lot of history. It was on this stage in 1942 when a young Frank Sinatra sang his last song with the Tommy Dorsey Band.
The real story was he got fired. He was playing with a band here, and they told him he didn't know how to sing and he should get out of here. And they literally fired him in Buffalo. He walked down Pearl Street, walked into a bar, was sitting there lamenting the fact that he just got fired and he didn't even have enough money to get back to New York. They literally took up a collection in the bar so that he could get himself on the train and back to New York. And so he went back to New York, and guess what? Found out he was better off by himself.
For a guy who got a free seat to every show that came to Shea's for 15 years, would it be possible to pick out just one?
Favorite show that you saw here in
Les
15
Miserables.
years? Which one?
Les Mis. That's absolutely my favorite Broadway show of all time. I like a lot of Broadway shows, but that one is by far my favorite.
The theater in Shea's is in his blood. He volunteered here for 30 years before he became president for another 15. The man who ran the show that put on all the shows.
And it's been absolutely an honor to be able to do it. If anybody asked me 20 years ago what I'd be doing today, or for the past 15, I would have never guessed I would be here. That was not anything I ever thought would even be possible. But it's been great, and the support from the whole community, as I've said before, has been phenomenal.
And even after 45 years, he's still not really going away. Conte says he will stay on as a consultant for special projects at Shea's. He says he could never just walk out the door and never come back.